You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
What you talking about, Willie?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Did I do that?
Good evening, everyone. Know-It-All Nation, everybody that rocks with the Know-It-Alls. Thanks for tapping in for a Thursday night episode of the JAG2G podcast. Just a guy, that's me, and my two G's, my two geniuses in the building, Stevie, I called you Stevie. I was getting Steven and Snoopy mixed up. my boy Snoop in the building and the homie Rory out here, man. What's up, fellas? What's going on with you guys? Last time we did a show, it was recorded. We played it on a Saturday. We decided to go live tonight. So, we're going to talk about some different things. A lot of stuff going on with what's going on in Minneapolis and, a lot of protests up that way, athletes with stuff to say. And we're kind of going to get into the history of the athletes and the social protests and social involvement with social justice and stuff like that. Before we get into all that, let me hear what's up with you guys. Rory, I'm going to go to you first, man, because we were communicating earlier today in the chat, and I thought you would be at work, like at school, doing what school teachers and stuff do. And you were at a wrestling tournament during the school day. What are the priorities in the state of Texas, man? Please do enlighten.
You don't want to know, really.
Yes, I do. I asked you.
Well, in the state of Texas, they prioritize sports during the school day. So
I've heard that several times now.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Tournaments happen during the school day.
Wow. Okay. Like,
yeah.
The only sport that used to be acceptable for was track, because the track meets were so long. You either had to have like kids on the weekends, or you had to give up a day in the week where some kids would miss class. But yeah, we never missed class for sports other than like big, like end of the season track meet. It would be like all day long.
But even with that, I'm sure you guys were getting out early. It's like,
yeah,
like
we were still going to school. We were still going to school, and then we catch a bus from the school to the meet. We'd go you go to homeroom, you go to your first class, and then all the track people would leave and go to the meet. I'm
saying, as far as talking to Rory, it was early this morning. It sounds like it should have been first period for kids. He's like, oh no, they're stretching, getting ready for this wrestling event. I mean, and I'm like, man, what is it Greg Abbott? Like, what are the priorities over there, man, in the Lone Star? But we won't get into that, man. I mean, did you guys win something, Rory? Because you are one of the coaches, right? That's why you were there.
Yeah, I'm the head coach, but we won nothing. Oof. So,
man, okay.
We got to get you a W in some sports. This
Irving High School near Dallas, Texas. I think they went like 2-8 in the football season.
That is correct, sir.
And they didn't win the wrestling event today that they took. They didn't win anything at the wrestling event, and they let the kids out early.
There was one match won. There was one match won. Just a heads up.
Man, pound on your chest about that, bro.
Oh yeah.
If you could take a team to the Olympics and you only come home with one gold medal, you're gonna big up that athlete that got the gold medal.
Well, he didn't win any gold medal though. He just won a match.
Hey man, winning is better than blanking.
Hey Stevie, exactly. let's. Is it the Dallas Morning Star paper? Is that what it is down there?
I mean, I don't know. Are there papers down here? I don't know.
Whatever the website is, we need to take out a classified ad. Irving High looking for athletes.
Wow, strapping young individuals ready for athletic training
and endeavors.
Focus.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you don't need focus. Only focus on your athletics if that's what you're talking about. One only must be prepared to
No,
be focused
but
on
based on
athletics.
what Rory described in the past, his athletes are not focused on athletics.
What? Say that again?
Didn't you say that you had kids that didn't want to like train or practice and stuff like that?
I mean, these kids
What's
don't
good?
like practice.
What's good, Ty, man? Thanks for tapping in, man. For the few other people that's with us right now, go ahead and say something in the live chat. We're going to get the discussion started in a minute. Didn't mean to interrupt you guys, but I wanted to shout out Ty who's in the live chat. I just found out, Stephen, do you know what the acronym WSG is?
I do not.
Oh, see, you younger than me. I thought I was really unhip last night. Well, I guess it's some rendition of what's good. Hey,
Hey, man, I guess I'm old now.
That works. It makes sense.
It doesn't even make any sense to me.
It
like,
does.
I get it. I mean, WSG, yeah.
But that's adding. That's not less syllables. That's actually adding a syllable to this. That it's making you say more. I don't understand.
But he typed it. He typed it.
Oh, okay.
Which is,
I mean, why wouldn't I just type what's
because
good
Debbie,
already?
You were just talking about you saying more. Now you texting less, so it makes sense in that regard.
I guess so. In that regard, yeah. But I would be confused.
Well, I was, but now that I know what it is, I'm not anymore.
All right.
You know, I'm about ready to hit these streets running somebody, be like WSG, homie. out here in PG County. Hey, I had somebody tell me a long time ago. I was living in DC, which that long time ago. But you know, we lived over there, Roy, in Southeast, when it was just when regentrification was brand new. So it still was getting better, but it wasn't better like it is now. And you know, me being from the Midwest, we when I say we, you know, black people, we see each other. You acknowledge each other. So I'm walking down the street over there, Stephen, you know, 16th and Potomac and Pennsylvania Avenue over there and all that. Back in the day, now we talk 2005, 2006.
Oh,
walking to the metro to head to work, head over to Fountain Club and stuff at the time. And you know, I'm getting on the metro, I'm walking to the metro, pass on the sidewalk, I'll be like, hey, nah, what's up, man? And then had somebody tell me after a couple months being, they said, man, you gotta stop doing that. Somebody gonna say, what's up, then? What's up? Like, oh man, you can't be friendly to jokers around here. But yeah, you would know. You've been around much longer than me.
I think you can still do the head nod, and that's acceptable. That's generally what I do to young folks. I just be like, yeah, and then sometimes I get called unk, which is that feels like disrespectful to me. I know for them it's a term of endearment, but
it ain't disrespectful. You just feel some kind of way because you old. I take pride in
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I said I understand that for them, they're actually being respectful. They feel like they're being respectful. I don't like that. I don't want not.
See, but it's levels of this, right? Because you were unk to somebody, you still a little homie to me.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what.
So just if you don't want to feel some kind of way, just hang out with more older people. You know what's the song? Forever Young. There you go. Hang out with everybody older.
Arian Allison says, I was born in PG County Hospital.
Prince George's County Hospital. Well, PG. We can say that on here. If you were born in PG, you can say PG.
I was born here, so I'll say it the way I want to say it.
Rory don't like when you say that.
Rory's already giving me Rory's giving me the
Rory.
He gave me the Jordan shrug.
Rory giving you the Mel. What's Mel's last name?
Jenkins.
Mel Jenkins. Yeah, Mel was a white guy that grew up in the hood of PG County, and he did not like nobody calling that thing PG.
He did not. He gave me a heck of a lecture one time, and I was like, Mel, I was born here. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like,
the homie Claude in the building. Claude talking about you, fella. He said them DC brothers are something different.
Ish. I'm Maryland born and raised, man. I do live on the line, and you may have a point, but not all of them. Them YN's kind of wild, but yeah. For the most part.
So the cats that was YNs to me now, they unks. See, you would have been a YN to me back in the day.
And I wasn't nowhere near as wild as they are. Woof.
Yeah, you seem to be a pretty moderately regulated cat, man. Not like that. That sounds like you're going to go through menopause or something. But
I just chased girls. That's all I did. There was no.
Okay, that can get you in trouble too. I guess you did good. You don't got no babies mamas around here.
Nope. Thank him for that.
Yeah, it was a time back in the day, my early to mid 20s. Me and Roy used to chase girls together.
What are you putting me in this for? Like,
I'm just letting Stephen know the OGs was out here too at one time, man. Now,
hey, man.
Granted, me more than you. I'll never forget that time, Roy. When I first came out here, I think you was living in Randallstown then, up by Baltimore. And one of your friends came over and they said, you and Roy are real cool. I said, yeah, Roy, that's my boy. And she said that I reminded her Fresh Prince, and you was like Carlton. I thought that was so funny.
Roy is kind of like Carlton, just like a little bit. That's not a bad thing. You know, Carlton has reached like epic status of like Black culture now. Like he's like legendary, but he is like legendarily nerdy. You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad thing.
You say nerdy. I don't think nerdies. I think it's like straight.
He was more square. He was more square. He wasn't really like nerdy. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we be on here. Rory be straight and square on here. Like we start talking about certain stuff, he back out of it. Like I don't know about that. is the statute of limitations up on that? I don't know about it. So yeah, I get it, man. But man, you guys want to say anything else before we go ahead and get into the discussion? You got anything? I feel like me and Steven talk about 5 minutes. Rory, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm just taking it all in. I'm taking it all in. I know this is going to become a heated conversation, so I'm just taking it all in.
No, it ain't allowed to get heated. I know you usually be chill, because I can count on you to be straight and square. Steven, I had to tell him ahead of time.
Hey, like, be Steven, cool. I'm not. We're all good here. We're all friends.
Like, Steven, we talking about facts. We ain't going into.
We talking about sports. We talking about. I'm not bringing nothing. I'm not bringing anything that's topical that isn't a part of the conversation. I won't do that.
Okay, there you go.
Sounds good to me.
Point. Sounds good.
We got enough. We have enough. The topic is right with enough stuff to talk and debate about. We don't have to. It doesn't have to get.
Claude said, "Have you ever been to the penthouse?"
No.
What's the penthouse?
Yeah, I got it. I'm not sure what that is.
Claude, what's the penthouse? What was? I mean, it's been 20 years for real. 18 years. Well, I've been married for. Yeah, so about 20 years ago. What's the name of the strip club I used to go to, man, in DC?
Camelot.
That was another one though. It was down in Northwest. Yeah, Stadium. Yeah. Stadium. There you go. And it was a spot too over off Benny Road everybody used to go to.
They closed all of those. They closed all of them joints. That's gone.
I'll have everyone know that I never accompanied Kevin to any of these places as a heads up.
You didn't. You just was.
I'm square.
No, I'm saying, but you never accompanied to any of those places, but you certainly what was around guilty by association when some of those narcotics were moved on the street.
I still don't know what you're talking about. Like,
hey, it's statute of limitations and all that stuff. They can't get you for none of that. There's no way they can come get you for them things you did in the 80s. Nah, that's over.
Unbeknownst to me.
It wasn't the 80s, it was the 90s, but it was that stuff legal now, though, bro. What they gonna do?
Oh, well, yeah.
I still know what you're talking about.
No, Roy wasn't involved that because I got scared of that after a point, and I left that stuff alone. Like that's like, dang, they banking jokers over that. Had friends go down. Like I'm not doing that. No,
they were like 35 years. Blam.
Yeah, but nah, Claude, I never been to the penthouse. I don't even know if it was a thing because you probably a little older than me, Claude. You probably was out here in the DC streets, man, getting it in. way before me. I got here in 05. So yeah, man. No penthouse, but stadium, definitely. And I can't remember the name of the club that was off Benning Road. It used to be Love and H2O. Like back, Roy, we've been in Love and H2O before. H2O, definitely.
That wasn't a strip club though. That was just a club.
I think.
That was just a club.
That's apartments now, I think, which is hilarious.
Just the club. Just
they
the
all
club.
that stuff down on the waterfront.
I used to go there a lot. That's where all the artists that were doing appearances and stuff would go there. So we would get hit on the head for those crazy door fees to see somebody do one song, lip sync to one song, and then drink and stuff for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
but it was a good time, you know what I'm saying?
But even then, when I was going there, you still wasn't allowed to go there though.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. There's really no overlap there. Because it was called it wasn't called Love. Yeah, it was called Love. It was called Dream when y'all were
that was the one overall Benning Road. They moved that. It was one over there. I think that was Dream. Dream was really wild.
Yeah.
Dream. Love was chill. Love was on the waterfront. Now, if you wanted to be with the younger crowd, you go to Love. You wanted to go chill and stuff, you go to H2O. They was like within walking distance of each other. But yeah, man, Rory.
No, I've told you guys, the city is for families now. They've been slowly pushing the drunks out of the city. They don't, you know.
Now I went to a really, Claude said Chris Webber and Juwan Howard. Oh yeah, I wasn't even here. You told them when they played for the Bullets, they weren't even the Wizards yet, Claude. I wasn't nowhere around at that point.
I would have been like 8, I think. Yeah.
I'm Chris Webber and Juwan Howard age. They was good veterans when I got here. I probably got here. I think my first birthday here is my 33rd birthday. Yeah, it was. You remember, Roy? I got that picture. Me, you, my sister, and Jaleesa went to that place in Virginia, Lorton, Virginia. It was called. I went to one when I was in Florida. I hadn't been almost since way back when. Was it? Oh, the old Glory Days or something like that. Glory Days. Yeah. Haven't been there in a long time. But man, let's go ahead and get to the show before we do any more self-incrimination. Thanks everybody for tapping in. Claude, thanks for being here. What we're going to talk about today, though, we're going to go back over some of the history of some of the social involvement, social injustice of different athletes and some of the stands they have taken over the years. When you think about that stuff, Stephen brought up one guy I completely forgot about. I'll let you tell a little bit about him, Stephen, once we get into the conversation. Cool. But we got, the one that comes to mind first to me is definitely between Muhammad Ali and Tommie Smith and Juan Carlo, who in the 1968 Olympics put on the black glove and threw up the fist on the Olympic podium. They had won the 200 meter. Tommie Smith won gold. Juan Carlo won bronze. So that one stands out. And I wasn't alive to see that. And I wasn't alive, obviously, when Muhammad Ali was protesting and not going in the draft to go to the Vietnam War because no Viet Cong never done nothing to him. So, I get it. Those are the first two instances I remember. Talk about Billie Jean King. She was really big in the women's movement. We got Megan Rapinoe on here. Her and Billie Jean King, both generations apart, were advocates of LGBTQ. And Billie Jean King, a fair pay, like she was the Rosie Ledbetter of the 1970s. Remember Rosie Ledbetter when all the men went away to World War II, and women had to really become really engaged in the workforce and stuff like that. So she was a proponent, huge proponent and advocate for equal pay for women at that time. We know about Colin Kaepernick taking a kneel because of police brutality and stuff involved with the treatment of young black men, period, and the police. And Megan Rapinoe also took that same stand with him and was a supporter of Kaepernick. This seems like this is about 15 years ago almost, man. This seems like yesterday. We got LeBron James was big and I Can't Breathe. That was Eric Garner was killed on a New York street coming out of a store. Something to do with some cigarettes, and a police officer, new NYPD officer choked him out. It came along again with the George Floyd case in Minneapolis. And we got Chris Jackson, formerly known as Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. He would pray during the national anthem because of his Islamic faith. And then big deal was made about that at the time. I think if somebody did that now, this is probably, 25 years ago. Somebody did that probably, 25 years ago, I bet. Somebody did that now. I don't think as big a deal to be made of it. But man, Steven, you go first and talk about any one of those people you want to talk about. Talk about Jim Brown if you want.
So I'll just jump in with Jim Brown. Jim Brown, to me, was one of the first examples that jumped out. He was somebody who, after his playing career ended, went back to the community that he came from, which was L.A., right? Or was it Compton?
No, Jim Brown didn't come from California.
Oh, no. But he's from, okay. He went back.
He's from New York. Okay. But he went because he left football to go act. So he spent a lot of his life in California because he retired, I believe, like at 28, 29 years old.
Okay, so he essentially retires and then immediately becomes a community activist, going down. And I remember him. I'm a little bit young for his generation, but in schools we had old stuff, and I remember him being in like DARE PSAs and stuff, telling kids to stay away from guns and gangs. And not only that, but he continued to be active in young athletes' careers. I reminded Kevin of Tate of this, that he was one of the central figures behind Maurice Clarett's push when he was at Ohio State to get the NCAA to allow him to be exempt from the requirements of the minimum year requirements and go straight to the NFL. Maurice Clarett had a knee condition, or he had like a genetic thing in his knee. He was told by doctors that he only had a certain amount of years to play, so he didn't want to waste any years in college. That push wasn't successful, but Jim Brown was there, and he continued to be active in a lot of young athletes' careers and stuff like that, as kind of like somebody to help guide them around obstacles that still existed, very prevalently in the 90s for Black athletes.
No, absolutely. What they were trying to do still isn't working, and I get it. From that, I mean, I get Maurice Clarett's case, that he was kind of pleading a hardship kind of case, sound like to me, but it's a reason that you got to be 3 years removed from your high school graduating class, because you're going to go out there and fool with grown men on that football field. It ain't like basketball. We run up and down the court, and if you get get hit, you get knocked off the ball, you fall on the ground and get up. Dudes out there trying to murk you on the football field.
But I will say this is important to point out, that what Jim Brown was trying to make people focus on was how similar at the time the student athlete label looked like to being a slave, because the athletes really didn't have any choice. Once they committed to a school, they didn't have any freedom, and the schools could drop you for any reason. You get hurt, okay, well, we'll get you back on. We'll get you out of your surgery, but now you don't have no scholarship enough, and good luck. You know what I mean? He was one of the guys that was saying these guys should be paid. If you're going to make them stay, they should be.
I said backstage he was ahead of NIL game, so I took it. Yeah. What's up, Afton? Thanks for tapping in. But that to me, far as what we're talking about, that was like him trying to get Maurice Clarett money. I think we talking about social. That's not social justice.
True. Most of his social justice was done on the streets, trying to keep kids away from gangs.
Now that was important, impactful work. Not that what he was trying to do for Maurice Clarett wasn't, but that pales in comparison to what he did, because he did it for so many more people. I mean, think about his organization and his community center that he had, and keeping kids out of gangs and walking through communities and recruiting kids to come over and you don't need to do that. I think that's much more impactful.
So with what you just said, would you include Magic Johnson in the conversation? Because I feel like he was another guy who, at least in the 90s, was very active in trying to keep kids on the right path. I
feel like Magic, and all he was too busy doing other stuff when he was playing. Magic was named by the president. I believe it was Bush 1 at the time. to be the czar, the lead on HIV and AIDS spokesperson. That didn't work out well, but he tried to do something with that and be positive. I think I look at Magic Johnson from an economic sense. He created businesses and jobs and opportunities for people like that more than getting out in the community or putting his name to a particular issue. Mm-hmm. A lot of those older athletes, they didn't want nothing to do with it because it's different now, right? And we'll talk about some of these younger athletes when we get to that part, but it's different now than it was back then. Like Michael Jordan wouldn't put his name on nothing because he's like, Republicans buy shoes too. Jordan, you know, we kind of get Jordan, Rory from Jordan. You know what I mean? Rory kind of got like,
yeah, Rory's like straight down the middle.
So with that being said, Roy, you go ahead and talk about one of these people or any individual that you feel like made a social impact as far as a athlete or a coach or something like that. Who would you say?
I'd piggyback on the Jim Brown, because where did Jim Brown go to school?
Syracuse.
Well, don't you guys recall in the 1970s it was the Syracuse 8 or 9 who they were like the first like social justice group of athletes who came together to fight for a particular cause. Like they were getting mistreated at Syracuse. They weren't getting tutors like other kids were getting tutors. Like, you know, like they weren't getting tutors. They weren't getting the medical attention. There were no black coaches on the Syracuse staff. And those 9 players like, yeah, we're done, man, with this garbage. And they protested. They kind of sat out for a hot second. Next thing you know, Syracuse kind of needed those people. They buckled a little bit, and at least they hired a black coach. I don't know about the other things. I'm sure they got the other things too, such as, you know, medical attention. Can you imagine playing football and not getting the required medical attention? But that's what Syracuse was doing. They weren't, you know, I mean, or imagine the elevation from high school curriculum to college curriculum, and you don't have any support whatsoever. And that's what, you know, and those athletes, they wanted to graduate.
What kind of support?
Like just like curricular support, as in tutors.
So do you guys have that in Texas?
Oh, well, we get tutoring left and right, dude. That's like mandatory.
I guess so. If you're missing class for a wrestling meet or football game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just remember the Syracuse. I remember reading about the Syracuse 9 or 8. I think it's one of those two, and just what they were fighting for in regards to social justice, on their campus.
That's kind of what went on with. I mean, Syracuse. I mean, during that time, the time frame you say, Ernie Davis. You seen the Disney movie The Express? Ernie Davis. He was at Syracuse around that time. Not saying he was involved in any of that. I'm just saying the time period you're talking about would have been around then.
It'd been like 1970s, like early 1970s is when that
that's
when that
about
occurred.
The time Ernie Davis was there, because Jim Brown got out there in like the early 60s. Then they had like Floyd Little. They went to Ernie Davis. They had like some really good, like, I know Jim Brown didn't win a Heisman, I don't think, but Ernie Davis did, I believe. Can't remember, man. You brought up Syracuse, man. Yeah. I'm going to go to the athlete that I'm going to pick. Just to mention real quick, man. To me, and I kind of mentioned them at first. Muhammad Ali and his because he put stake in the game with his stand against the draft and not going to war with Vietnam and stuff like that.
That was more personal, right, and religious for him.
It was, but still, it was a social stand because he felt like it was an unjust war.
But he was already an activist for equal rights for blacks before Vietnam, and I mean, it's a different time. If you go back and look at those interviews when he was really young, it was really humorous. He almost sounds like a stand-up comedian. He sounds almost like Richard Pryor, but laced in all of those jokes, he's telling you, hey, things are not cool for the Negro out here. It's not easy for us, So I think what Rory says is a good point. The stance that he took against Vietnam was more about him being a Muslim and it being, it being against his religion to do that. But Muhammad Ali continued long after his career to continue to be an activist for human rights throughout the world.
I think Muhammad Ali, I'll take it as social justice because here you are, you're a black athlete, you're a world champion, and your name's getting put in the hat to be drafted. Like there's a lot of people out there who somehow didn't get their hats, their names put in that hat. You know, like there's a lot of people who are from certain, backgrounds who didn't get to have their name placed in that hat. But
some people had feet problem and didn't go. So
no one said any of that. I'm just saying
some people did.
I'm just saying there are some people.
There you go on this Carlton, Stephen.
I'm agreeing with you, Kevin.
I'm not trying to start nothing, but I'm just saying if I were of draft eligible age right now, I would protest if they try to draft. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's to me, it's the same thing. If you're in that state of mind and in our culture, you kind of have to take a stance on stuff like that when that comes up. Like, it's not a, it's kind of ingrained in how you're bred.
Yeah, it's a different time now. That's why I said even then, there's more stake in the game for him because he did that, took that stance.
He gave up the prime years of his career.
The prime years of his career and his earning power at that time. Yeah. But I really feel because of that, because of his stance and his belief in standing on it and giving up those prime years to stand for what he believed in. And I give it more credit than just his religion. I think he really thought it was unjust war. And I'm not finna go fight for a country that I don't believe treats me fairly. So I think part of that was part of it also. But like I said, the stake in the game is giving up like 3 years plus of his prime career to do that. You know what I mean?
And I need to say that I unfortunately, I don't know about you all, but I know I kind of peed that away, all that cause, because come 18, I had to sign up for selective service. Otherwise, I wasn't getting any money for college. So I was like, I got to sign that document. I might be drafted. I mean, I think I don't know if
it's still mandatory in the U.S.
It was mandatory. Like, I mean, that's basically the draft right there. You put yourself in that pool, like.
Yeah, but when's the last time the United States had a draft, though?
Hey, man, but once you sign on that paper at 18, you're saying that you can be drafted. So,
by that time, there hadn't been a draft since Vietnam, though.
Yeah, when I filled out my selective card at 18, I didn't even with the country in an active war, I never felt like, oh, I'm gonna get drafted. Like then the thought was never on my mind because it's like, nah, they don't want me. Things would have to be terrible for them to have to be like, all right, let's get him.
Well, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that once you signed on that dotted line, everything that he fought for in that regards was kind of ignored because I needed that student loan money or that, the Carl Perkins loan, whatever that thing was. I decided, I said, you want this loan? And if you don't sign, on top of it, you're going to be fined, maybe even jailed. It's like, what? I got to sign this document. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to the post office, sign away. I had to sign my existence away.
It's one of the things I worry about when my kid hit 18.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, after it said when her kid hit 18, talking about your son after, which if your son, when he hit 18, like that was what, 3 years ago?
It's still a worry, though. It
is a worry, but it's something. I get it. I don't have any kids, so I wouldn't have to worry from that perspective. Once I signed my name and I got not a drafting age and stuff like that, didn't think about it no more. So I get it.
A $600 Carl Perkins loan.
Okay. So he's 25 this year.
And a Pell Grant too. Don't worry about that. 7
years ago.
Ooh,
that was 2019. I mean, did we feel like there could be a draft 7 years ago for something?
Hey man, I mean,
or is it just signing up and having to sign up? There's always that potential.
Exactly. For the rest of your, and anytime they make a draft, it's going to be a certain age. The Congress gets to decide the age limit. So they might 18 to 42 or 18 to 30, whatever they're going to decide, they decide that. So if a war breaks out, I mean, they could make it our age, Kev. They really wanted to.
Well, read Claude's comment.
Well, the way things are going, anything is definitely possible, which is definitely
the
true.
fact, Jack.
Definitely, Claude. You are 157% right. We don't know because we might be about to get in three wars right now. It's possible. It's possible. We're gonna take Greenland, or is it Iceland? We down in Venezuela, and we starting stuff over in Iran, right? Yes, Iran. So
definitely Greenland.
I know what it is.
The one with the ice is Greenland. Both of them are quite cold, but the icy one is Greenland.
Wait, ice is not the icy one?
Nah, the one that's covered in like permafrost is Greenland. That's the one that has the oil under the ice.
I mean, I don't know, I guess, but I'm not out saying I'm taking something over. I don't know.
People actually live in Iceland. Nobody lives. You can't. There's not really habitable place. There's not very many habitable places in Greenland. It's like it was before global warming. It was a tundra, but now it's slowly not that no more. That is rough. But yeah,
what I have to say, Stephen? You the comment reader, Stephen. That's your new job. You signed papers for that. You've been drafted.
Less than 50% of people could currently get into the military under current guidelines. Yeah, they would. I actually agree with that. They were at some point they're gonna have to change what those requirements are because no one can do the fitness stuff like at all.
When they need people, they will lower those expectations.
Yeah, they're gonna lower them down for sure. They're gonna be like, all right, no more like physical. Do this physical training in boot camp. No more testing them before they get in here.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, we'll get you in shape best we can. We need bodies right now.
That's what it is. It'd be like.
All right, are we getting back to the cause here?
Yeah, man. So one more, Rory. Pick one more because you kind of piggybacked off Stephen and went Jim Brown, and then you went Syracuse 8-9, which was you teaching me something. I kind of heard of it, but you taught me something. Give me one that we kind of know, but tell us about it.
How about John Thompson? Remember, the big coach, Georgetown University. He fought for social justice on his campus. He was like, you remember because Georgetown was like trying to exclude certain African American males from coming to campus. You remember that? Do you remember that? And he had to fight. They actually made a. It was only his players on campus for a while when Georgetown was at its peak. When Georgetown was at its peak in far as college basketball, I was a huge fan way in Ohio, and we would come here. My mom would bring us here for like social injustice stuff. I've always been involved in elections. We came here to march on the South African embassy kind of stuff.
Embassy, yeah, that's what's right there. Embassy. Easy. When apartheid was going on, when Mandela was still in jail and stuff like that. Different things came for the Million Man March. But when I first came here, I probably was about 12 years old. You know, I thought Georgetown was your HBCU.
How? Because
all I saw on TV was black guys playing basketball in Georgetown. You wasn't even born, Stephen.
My only comment about that is I'm not surprised by that at all because the only thing I'll say is Georgetown is a really hip part of the city. It has really high-end shopping and really high-end dining, but it is one of the only places in the city that is not accessible by Metro, and they actually closed their Metro station down.
You gotta walk up that hill.
They do that on purpose.
So you guys talking about them excluding people from campus. I'm like, but they exclude people from the actual place of Georgetown.
You gotta make it hard to get to.
You better walk or live there because you're not going to pay a fortune to park.
Yeah, they don't want Metro accessibility there, so any and everybody can come here. They pay too much money for that. So I was just there one day this week. No, it was last Friday. But my doctor's appointment. I go to Georgetown Hospital, but the story was, man, we talk about the cost of living everywhere. Another show went there at 12 years old. The cobblestone streets that run across the campus and stuff like that. I'm out walking the campus and thinking I'm about to be at Central State or FAMU or Howard. I should have went to Howard, right? At that time, I want to go to Georgetown.
You supposed to be like Howard Jr., but you turn it like, what? What's happening here?
But I seen all these Caucasian people walking around like, where's the brothers at? They all on the basketball team, probably.
That's all of them. The basketball team. That's
Back
the guys.
then, it probably was. Even probably so now. I don't know. I'm not. Georgetown sucks now. I don't keep up as much. I like their t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. Like I like the Georgetown logo and the Georgetown brand.
The last time I was on the campus was many years ago, but it was fairly diverse from what I remember.
Yeah,
it was a real large crowd. So
yeah, that probably was the Black Student Union. You just came up on the meeting at that time. I mean, that probably was everybody.
I went to a Halloween concert.
Okay, well, concert draws people in too. So
yeah, so
I mean, but no, Roy, you're right. John Thompson was definitely active in this city. You know him, John. Hey, Steve, you tell me because I've been here 20 years now. But Chuck Berry, Marion Barry, and John Thompson all on like DC pedestals.
Yes.
No, they are.
Yeah. Well, some people kind of got tired of John Thompson because he was the guy. He was the voice for the Wizards for a long time. After he took a break from that, he got back in a lot of people's graces. But like, yeah, they're all of them.
If you didn't like him as an analyst, who cares? I'm talking about the works that he did.
For real.
I'm talking about how he's revered around the city.
Mary Berry definitely at the top of that list. But yeah,
I don't. You think Marion Barry over Chuck Berry?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's literally there people like not as much my age, but people your age. You probably know people from this area that were in that summer jobs program. There's so many that was really influential and kind of life changing for a lot of people, giving them opportunities to have to work as youth when young Black kids didn't have them opportunities.
You're right. It's a comment up, Stephen. Claude.
Okay, Roberto Clemente. This is from Claude. Roberto Clemente wouldn't talk to the Pittsburgh media because they called him Robert.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fair stand. That's just a matter of respect. I watched a couple podcasts a day, and people do it all the time. I mean, they'll be like somebody might have some type of African name, a Nigerian name, or some name that's difficult. And they be like, I'm just gonna call him this. I get it, but why don't you try and learn their name? If your name is I don't know, some Irish McDougal, I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna call you Doogie. You know what I mean? Because it's easier for me. But people do that all the time. But yes, Roberto Clemente was also socially involved in a lot of stuff. I mean, we don't hear a lot of stories about him.
He freed the baseball players. He freed the baseball players.
Well, to free the baseball players was Curt Flood. St. Louis Cardinals has started free agency. I mean, I don't think that's a social movement, but that's a major movement that other sports transition to, and is why we have the sports we have now is the way they are because of Curt Flood. But Pickens, you big
and Roberto Clemente, you don't take him out of the equation.
No, I'm not lessening him. You said he freed the baseball player. I'm saying who freed that bag though for the baseball player.
Imagine watching the classic movie Stripes and they're all stoned out of their mind.
What is that in reference to?
Yeah, we're talking about like who's going to be the soldiers, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's
what I was saying.
The state of the athlete, the state of people in the United States.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's
absolutely right about that. Yeah,
good one, you big dummy. I thought it was because I played That's the Fact Jack. That's from the classic movie Stripes. Steven, have you ever seen the movie Stripes? Bill Murray.
I have seen the movie Stripes. I'm a big Bill Murray fan. So
good for Steven, man. Good for Steven.
That's the early Bill Murray I really like. Caddyshack.
Okay. Talking about Bill, Owl on the Prowl said Bill Russell, which is another,
Bill.
Things he did in Boston, the things he went through.
He went through that part.
My goodness. I mean, I saw that Bill Russell documentary. It was like mind bending. Like I just didn't know. And all of a sudden you just knew. And you're like, oh my goodness. Like
what about
some of the stuff that he went through way back then? I've heard like recently, since he's been in the NBA, Jaylen Brown said he experiences some stuff too. I mean, maybe not near the extent I'm sure what Bill Russell did.
Oh yeah,
but it's like some stuff though that you don't think it'll be stuff.
That place is not cool for certain people. It's really not. And I'll tell you, I've had that conversation with Kevin before. I did not have a nice time when I was there. It wasn't cool.
Yeah, Boston is fully segregated. I mean,
Yeah,
it
you
is a
grow up.
segregated city, and
I've been
in a
twice.
modern age, to have I mean, my city, Newark, New Jersey, same thing, segregated city. People think, oh, Newark's all black. No, it's not. There's Portuguese sections, there's Latino sections, there's white sections, but you wouldn't know because you see one section, but there are some segregated cities, especially in that northeast corridor, and Newark's one of them, Boston's another, New
Yeah,
York City's another. I mean, it's like these are segregated cities. We just pretend like we pretend like they're not, but they are.
But if we're staying
there's
on the subject of basketball players, I would definitely throw Kareem's name in there.
Kareem, I mean, all those guys. There's that iconic picture during the civil rights movement of Kareem, Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and somebody else I'm missing, Joe Louis or somebody. Like they were all there supporting whatever civil rights movement cause was going on at that time. They were all there. So no, a lot of people put stake in the game for this thing, man. But we're gonna go ahead and transition and talk about, so we can get into it real quick, what's going on in Minneapolis. And Rory talked about the Northeast Corridor. I thought about, man, it's going on up in Maine too. And I mean, we in Minneapolis has been occupied by the U.S. government.
That's a fair way of saying it, I would say.
I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. And it's a lot of these cities that are, what do they call it? They safe harbor cities, or what do they call it?
Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities, yeah. Sanctuary cities, and most of those cities are more liberal, more open. So therefore, one could assume, trying to keep politics out of it, that there are more democratic cities, democratic states, and stuff like that. And I think that that's a reason, because there's a huge Somalian population up in Minnesota, Minneapolis specifically. The Congress lady, Ilhan Omar, was there. She was attacked the other day at some presser she was having at some event. Some guy ran up on her. But yeah, man. So as the way the immigration and stuff, and the federal agency and the government that handles immigration, the Department of Homeland Security, are doing this thing, and the athletes are speaking out about this stuff. That's the part of it we're talking about, right? Real quick, and be quick, Rory. You bring the temperature down a little bit, Rory. Stephen, 60 seconds, and I want Rory to bring the temperature down on it. 60 seconds. Tell us what you think about what's going on in way of that. Then we're going to contrast what we think and go to some of what these athletes are they're taking. Go ahead.
I'm actually not going to dig that deep into it. I'll just say that
you're not supposed to. We talked about it.
As a human being, I'm disappointed with the things that I've seen. I'm going to be honest. To be able to keep my head above water in my personal life, I don't take in a lot of news anymore. So I'm not plugged in to where I know every single thing that's going on. But I know that.
Why aren't you plugged into the news?
Because I need to be able to be sane. I need to be able to put my head down at night. I need to be able to go to sleep, like that type of stuff. And I can't. You get to a point where you have to care about the monkeys in your circus. You know what I'm saying? You have to. You really just have to worry about the problem. You have to worry about your fires. So
that's true. I only asked you that because a friend of mine asked me about a week or two ago. Question was, I was looking at the news, whatever. They asked me, how do I do that? How do I stay engaged? I was like, I wouldn't call it that. I used to always be engaged. You know, if you know me, I used to do all kind of political social media posts and get in philosophical discussions with people. Remember, Ronnie boy at work. We talk every day about stuff. Not supposed to talk about it at work, but Ronnie, the president's son, wanted to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it with you. You know what I mean? But I was asked how can I stay engaged? And the same reason you saying, like, it's difficult, but I feel like, man, I need to at least be aware though, right? I need to be aware. I don't get into it. I don't want to talk about it, but I need to see what the heck is going on though. But go ahead and finish what you were saying about the situation.
So about the situation, my reaction from it is, of course, I'm looking to see what public officials care about it. But because I feel like it's the whole situation is a bit deeper than that. It is important to me what public figures, how they react to it. People who make money off of me, I want to know what their stance on this stuff is. So I think it's an interesting like snapshot to see how different sports organizations and athletes have reacted. The NBA, I wasn't surprised at their response, because they are definitely, in my opinion, of the major sports leagues, the players have a lot more sway in the NBA than any of those other leagues. And I think now is the waiting period for me. I want to see how people are reacting, and things keep happening so rapidly. It's kind of hard to see, there's so many people talking about the same thing. It's hard to really just quiet everything down and listen to people's actual feelings about it. But that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of what you're just saying, watching how some of the young athletes are reacting to it, what they're saying about it, and how they speak a different language. They speak in memes, kind of. But
WSG.
Yeah, but you understand that the meaning and thought is still there. So that's really all I wanted to point out, is that I'm at a state where I need to listen. I'm listening to see where my allies are. That's all.
Okay, I like that word about the clowns in your own circus. I mean, kind of helps keep you sane as you can. You're still dealing with clowns though, but you're not dealing with the biggest clown. Go ahead, Rory. What are your thoughts on the situation in Minneapolis and what has happened there the past month?
I mean, I'm just sad, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm an immigrant, right? I'm also the child of immigrants from, they came to England. I'm an immigrant, and I can now come to the United States. I mean, they go
mess up, send your ass back to Jamaica, and you from England.
Yeah, I know exactly. But it's if you're saying, oh, we're going to go after these people, right? And you say these people are the most dangerous, then go after those most dangerous criminals. I mean, if that's your war cry, if that's this is our cause, then you should do that. But I mean, I've lost students. I've literally lost students from all this. And Minneapolis is no different. They're going up to Minneapolis after sending people up there. This is the weirdest thing. Like, I'm so confused that these people were in Texas, they were in Florida, they were in other states in the South, Arizona, and they sent them up to these states, and they have documentation of where they are, and now they're going to go get them. Like, why did you send them to Texas? Why did you send them from Texas up to these places to begin with? And now I don't know. I'm so confused. And then they sent in Texas, National Guard. I mean, I'm so confused by all this. I'm just
states that have a more disproportionate immigration and illegal immigration even. I mean, Texas is closer to the South American border where drugs and stuff are coming from. You want the worst of the worst. And I'm not saying that those people need to be harassed either, but places like Texas and Florida aren't harassed because of the politics in Texas and Florida. That's what that's about.
You know
what
I mean? Like,
no, not guess. That's what it is.
I'm saddened by this. I mean, of course, I'm saddened by this. And people, of course, are protesting what's happening to their community members, which I understand. And then now they're getting shot in broad daylight. People are getting shot in the back of their head. Like, I've seen. Like, I'm like, this is confusing to me. But I'm like, I don't see why. And one person, falls under the sword. That Bonvino guy, he's gone, right? But it's like.
Yeah. He was asking for it, though.
His uniform alone was asking for it. I mean, I was confused by the uniform he was wearing. I was like, isn't this what in all those movies we watch about the 1940s and the 30s, isn't that the uniform? I mean, that uniform is reminiscent of, like, I don't know if in New Jersey, we had the state police. And the state police of New Jersey, that's the uniform they wear. Like, so I'm like, that's a very scary uniform. Imagine being on the highway of New Jersey and getting pulled over by someone they coming out looking like what? That uniform looks kind of, and I don't know. I'm just like weirded out by this whole thing. So I'm going to just sit back and go, this is America and this is what you guys want. So I'm going to see what you guys actually truly want.
Yeah. I mean, so what Claude said, it's definitely that too, Claude. I mean, sometimes, You just cause distractions, kind of like what the game, what's it called? You put some under a cup and you mix all the cups around. You're supposed to follow, like, look over here, look over there. Yeah, that game.
It is that is literally what it is. It's an infinite shell game. The idea
shout
is
out Valley Forge. That part, yeah. And we like I mentioned earlier, we'd go to war with 3 different countries at one time to avoid the Epstein files. You know, but okay, let's get back to the athlete part of it. So a few athletes have said some stuff. We'll start off. I got a couple clips I want to play. First, I'll start off with who's also an immigrant living here, probably on a work visa, Rory.
Uh-oh.
Probably not a work visa, but our boy, one of the most popular basketball players in the world, spoke out this week about how he felt about the stuff. Victor Wembanyama has this to say.
I was wondering what your thoughts are on the situation in Minneapolis.
Yeah. You know, PR has tried, but I'm not going to sit here and give some politically correct, you know. I know, I'm this every day I wake up and see the news and I'm horrified. I think that it's crazy that some people might make it seem like, or make it sound like it's acceptable. The murder of civilians is acceptable, you know. Every day, I read the news and sometimes I'm asking very deep questions about my own life. But, you know, I'm conscious also that saying everything, you know, that's on my mind would have a cost that's too great for me right now. So it's, I'd rather not get into too many details.
Is that kind of a big factor in this, that people have that fear that if they speak openly about an injustice they see, there can be repercussions?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's terrible. It's and, you know, I know I'm a foreigner. You know, I live in this country, and I am concerned for sure.
Is that part of your hesitance, being a foreigner? Does that play into your?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's yeah. I'm not getting into too many details, but yes.
Did you see what
Yeah, so that's Victor Wembanyama. I think what he said, and Rory kind of alluded to the same thing. Him
sounds like me. He did sound like me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not being from here, but living here, and you've been here a long time, Rory. I mean, but yeah,
I've been here more than I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm more American than I am British. I hate to say it. I'm British through and through, but I'm definitely more American in regards to time than I am British. But like, I'm just watching this unfold. I'm like, this is not to me acceptable, but it's happening, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. This is confusing.
Right, no, you're right. And Stephen, you made a point earlier, and a lot of the little I got a couple more clips to play. But our NBA people, and even Victor Wembanyama said, well, maybe if I was an American-born NBA player, I could say what I want.
Before you play the clips, I do want to say that is pretty troubling to me, because Victor Wembanyama is an emerging star in the NBA. He's one of them guys where it's like, all right, he's the next guy that could be
the heir apparent, right? He's one of them.
Yeah, he's the heir apparent to take over and be the next generation of superstars. And for him to not be able to speak openly is kind of scary to me. Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard that quote. So it's like, you know, it's weird to me that we're like 5 years removed from players just saying whatever they want to say, you know? And that's there are sports to escape a bit from these things, but these things have bled over into sports. World Cup boycotts, Olympics can't get away from these stories. Yeah, you're right.
Actually, that was one of the things we're going to talk about also was, and that was going to be another show, but I actually had that idea ready too, about, because the World Cup is here this summer. There's going to be in 11 different American cities, along with some places in Canada, some places in South America. But
Arlington, Texas.
This is that right there. The graphic we're gonna have for that. We're hosting. Are they coming? I mean, we don't know. They could boycott everything. The graphic speaks for itself. We see those You know who we see in there. I'm not even gonna say their name, but yeah, good point, Valley Ford. Definitely a good point. But yeah, Stephen, you're right. He can't even feel free to speak his mind. But that's why I say if he was American born, maybe LeBron say what he want to say.
Once again, he sounds like me. He sounds like me. I mean,
let's hear real quick what Steve Kerr, the coach of Golden State Warriors, had to say. You were definitely spot on about the NBA, though, Stephen.
This has always been a great stop on the NBA tour. I love the city of Minneapolis. The people here are wonderful, and it's very sad what's happening. I feel for the city. There's a pall that has been cast over the city. You can feel it, and a lot of people are suffering. Obviously, loss of life is the number one concern. Those families will never get their family members back. And, when all the unrest settles down, whenever that is, those family members won't be returning home. And that's devastating.
Yeah, so Steve Kerr. So real quick, I'm gonna pull up these comments, Stephen, from different people. You just go ahead and read them real quick. We just heard from Steve Kerr. Go ahead and read what he said about the event, Stephen.
Criticized the event. The incident is shameful, calling out law enforcement for murder and government dishonesty regarding the events. That quote I had seen.
Wemby had this to say. I think this was before his
Wemby expressing horrified by the fatal shootings of 2 civilians by federal agents in Minnesota, characterizing the events as the murder of civilians. Defying the team's PR advice, he criticized the actions by stating the situation is beyond comprehension and requires change. That was before he said the second part. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Right. And
so that part, the Kerr quote and Wemby's first statement were the first things that I had read. And then I saw they did that demonstration at one of the games.
Big Cat used to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves, now plays for the Knicks.
Called for accountability, transparency, and protections for all people, citing the situation as heartbreaking.
Kind of Rory sentiment also. He used heartbreaking specifically.
Yeah.
I think Tyrese Halliburton goes right there.
Labeled the death of Alex Preddy as murder. Yeah.
Period.
He tweeted it out. Period. He should probably stop using X though. If I were him.
Doc Rivers, longtime NBA coach, former player.
Described the events as straight up murder, arguing that ICE is attacking brown people. Not surprising coming from Doc at all.
Oh yeah, Doc's one of those guys gonna say what's on his mind too.
Doc is definitely has been, never held his tongue. He was instrumental in getting change out there in LA with the Clippers. So
that part.
And
WNBA player Breonna Stewart.
Breonna Stewart said held an abolish ICE sign stating she was disgusted and advocating for policies that uplift families and communities instead of fueling fear and violence. I did want to say that too. When I said basketball, I hoped that we were including the WNBA and the rivals leagues too, because there have been a ton of players on both male and female that have spoken up. She was, I believe, the first to just come out and just have it. She had a sign at her press conference, her post-game press conference. And she didn't say nothing about the game.
Charles Barkley said something either earlier this week or last week. He has something to say. I mean, like, it's just getting ridiculous now. We see videos of this stuff, and I mean, we're appalled by it, right? I mean, we see it with our own eyes. And I kind of heard that was like how the civil rights movement, once people saw what was going on and white people saw people getting hosed down and attacked with dogs back in the 60s and stuff, that's when the civil rights movement became even bigger. And I do think it's a direct, and the athletes see it that way too. And they're putting their voice and their opinions on their platform to help get it out there, right? And I can respect and appreciate that, because some people know about stuff and feel some way about stuff, but they won't say it. And I'm one of those guys. I'm gonna say it, but I try and be mindful because this is a podcast. And like who just commented just a second ago? They said you come here. A lot of times sports gets us away from it. That was Val Ford, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Bill Simmons on his podcast, he said, I mean, prior to saying something, he said, I know people come here to sports is supposed to be like your free place and stuff, but this is so horrific and so purposeful. The intent was so purposeful that I got to say something. And I said something at the end of our last Sunday's podcast on the KnoItAllz. I said I stand with the people of Minnesota. And I mean, because this is just ridiculous. So closing up, how do you guys feel about overall about athletes taking stands? How you guys feel about that?
As far as young athletes in the NBA, I'm very impressed with how vocal they're trying to be. And honestly, with the idea that some of them are putting like hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, I'm even more impressed. I'm a little disappointed that we haven't heard things from athletes in sports that make a lot more money, that I may watch a little bit more, like some baseball players and some football players. But I have to be honest, I'm not surprised if that makes.
It's kind of like you said, the NBA takes up social causes a whole lot more than these other leagues do.
Yeah, for sure.
I've never really seen it in baseball. I mean, you had players like Claude went back to Roberto Clemente, and there are individuals, but we're talking about as a league. If you don't have that umbrella of protection, then you got to be mindful of that and kind of watch yourself. You know what I mean?
True. But at the same time, there are multiple guys in the MLB now with $500 million contracts. So it's like
but their money's tied up into different years, right? So they get like $7 million here and
I think you had Juan Soto.
Okay,
right?
But say it again. Who?
Juan Soto.
Say it again. Who?
Juan Soto.
Well, the very fact that his name is Juan Soto, Juan better keep his ass quiet. Shohei Ohtani, you better stay quiet. The majority of the best baseball players in the MLB
are all foreign.
Are all foreign.
Yep.
So there's that part of it too. So I understand, but man, Juan Soto and Ohtani ain't trying to mess with that $750 and $550 million contracts.
Nah, they're not messing that. They're not messing that up. But all I'm saying is, at a time like this, you would, if someone were to make a stance and make a sacrifice like Muhammad Ali did, then it could be a galvanizing moment for young people. They could say, man, maybe I don't have to just chase money all the time and be trying to scam people. Like, maybe I should pay attention to what's going on. You kind of need someone to make that. You need someone to be a cap. You need someone to say, you know what? It's not worth it. It's worth it to try to make people make this a thing. It's my career, giving up my career and getting canceled for this is worth it. You know what I mean?
Man, you the dude say you can't live off $1 million. And I'm supposed to throw away $500.
That is not what I said. You keep twisting my words around. I said you couldn't live comfortably in this area for the rest of your life off $1 million. That's not possible.
Okay. But no, I understand the athletes, but I mean even them, it's like it's like an inhumane crime. But what stake do they have in the game? I mean, I guess the fact that we're disproportionately and unfairly, we're really is racial profiling, moving other people out that are kin to them, maybe not kin literally, but they don't want to make no noise because it could happen to them. So I get that part of it. It's like an American problem right now. I'm not getting in America's business. Rory, what are your thoughts on it? Closing up.
I mean, I think a lot of athletes, they're thinking of their pocketbooks at this point, and I get that 100%. And they're also thinking about like people coming after them after the fact. I mean, if you say the wrong things at this moment in history, like we got Jimmy Kimmel and all the people getting kicked off. I mean, we're in a certain zone, and you could be forgotten. Like you brought up Abdul Rauf, right? He got forgotten. He was like one of the greatest. When I first came to this country, he was amazing. He was lights out.
His name was Chris Jackson then, though.
Right, but I'm just saying he was lights out. He was an amazing player, and then he just like he had his little protest. He disappeared, right? And I think a lot of people feel the same way, that they could disappear. Not killed. I'm just saying, as in their careers could be over. And I think when Bayana, he was advised like that. He was like, "Hey, dude, you're saying a little bit too much, and your career could be just gone."
Difference is it can be, but you can go over in Europe and make a lot of money over there too. Yeah. Back 30 years ago, you couldn't do that. That's an option. And are you done? I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just interjecting on what you said.
No, I'm just saying, like, we're in a different state right now, and I get it. I think people have to be very cautious of what they say and what they do.
We are, and I agree. And I think it's been like that for a while, because we were talking, like, when I was coming up, guys tend not to get involved in that, right? They had to think about endorsements and who buys sneakers and, who will let me sell their Gatorade or their sports drink and all that kind of stuff. But the athletes that came that were closest removed or involved in the civil rights movement, those guys stood up. Those women stood up. Those people stood up. It was a different time. Then we got to a time where, it felt inclusive. And even though these things were going on, behind the scenes before we saw Rodney King's video, right? That's the first video I really remember seeing, like, oh man, they're putting people out there. We've seen 1,000 different videos or something since then, right? I mean, I feel like now, though, we're in a space where young people have become more, because I mean, the world is smaller, and though someone may be a foreigner, you look at someone typically, if you're a true good-hearted Christian believing person, you look at the person as a person and not from their color of their skin or their ethnicity or any of that stuff. I think we're getting more young, because as we go on, it'll be a long, long time. We'll long be gone, but this stuff will be phased out, man, as the world continues to become smaller and more close-knit. But I think a lot more, not compared to back then when we're talking about those ones fresh out and freshly involved and fresh out the civil rights movement, and we were comfortable for a long time. But now it's starting to come around again. People have their platforms, their voices, their megaphones to say what they want to say. And I think it can be powerful. It's powerful. That's talking about the social justice part. I didn't even talk about the good deeds a lot of these athletes and people do. You know what I mean? They're what they're giving back to the community and the stuff they do like that. I mean, so I think it's a good age for athletics, athletes' involvement in justice, in community, and just, everything they want to do. It's one of the things we're going to talk about. Because it was going to be the podcast we're going to do this week, is the success of former athletes, ex-athletes in sports media and digital media, in the podcasting space and all that kind of stuff like that. There's a lot of successful podcasts and stuff like that, and guys just making continue on from their athletic careers, going into a career where they can give their opinions, their thoughts, and their stuff like that. I mean, so we're going to talk about that one of these upcoming weeks. But yeah, with that being said, fellas, I thought it was a really good discussion. Thank you guys for tapping in once again. You guys want to finish up with anything else? What's the homie Athens says? Read it, Stephen. Comment up. I got to squint. Look at my face all on the screen. You're going to get fined, Stephen, if you don't read the comment.
He said, geez, that freaked me out. I thought it was a fantastic ventriloquist there for a second. Am I? Someone else said that too.
You're a little choppy. You're a little choppy. Is it really? Rory. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Claude said you got that Kirby internet, because we do a show with Kirby, and Kirby internet always jacked up.
I got Spectrum.
You coming in 480p right now, bro.
You know what? I thought it was Kev. I'm looking at it and I saw
it's not Kevin.
It's me. Oh man, this ain't good. You know what? Maybe I need to restart my computer. I haven't done it in like a month.
I mean, I've had it happen before, but I got Verizon, man. You got a little Spectrum.
Spectrum is high level.
Okay, yeah, I see. No, but it just depends on where you're at, right? What you got, Steven?
Xfinity.
Okay. Some bullshit, but all right. No, but is Comcast still a thing?
Wait. No, I have Verizon.
Okay, thank you. Because
Verizon Fios.
Verizon Fios, yeah.
Like I said, I need a restart. I'll do a restart. Maybe that will.
You know the Verizon Fios because you had that when you lit up this way, didn't you?
Yes.
Are you? Oh, okay. Are you answering, or is your spectrum?
No, I was agreeing with you. I was thinking, did I have it? Yeah, I did have Verizon Fios.
Yeah, you probably didn't have as many internet problems back then.
Yeah.
I did want to comment one thing. Afton had her last comment was asking if they have restrictions in their contracts on the things that they can say. The big guys like like Otani and Soto. So the way that works is they normally do. There are real strict legal restrictions on what they can put in contracts because we do have the First Amendment. But generally, what they'll put in those contracts is you can't say stuff negative about the organization you play for. You can't say, you can't attack the brand, any of the brands that the organization is aligned with, and things like that. But they generally can't just explicitly say you can't talk about what's happening in the world. They usually can't do that.
Yeah, LeBron got in trouble for that. He said something when he was over in China.
He said something about China. Yeah.
Yeah, that became a thing because the NBA is trying to grow in China, but it was LeBron. Like, well, we really can't do nothing to you. Let it have been your boy John Morant, though. Out of here. He already skating on thin ice.
I was about to say he needs to play better. Is what he should do.
He about to get traded. Man. With that being said, everybody, thanks for tapping in to the episode of JAG2G. We had fun, great discussion. I learned some things. Hopefully you guys, learn some about some of these people and stuff like that. Hopefully you take a stand, however you take a stand. Hopefully you see what's going on in Minneapolis right now as an injustice. And I will say this, it became more of a thing. It's a thing anyway. It would have been a thing anyway. But it became more of a thing because 2 white Americans were killed in the street. Would you concur, Stephen?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, Rory, you don't have to answer. Stay straight, square.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll say that it I think got a little bit more news for sure. And and trying to find dirt on these people.
A little bit more news.
We got a lot more news. I'm saying it got a lot more news, and definitely, when you try to drag people, her name was getting dragged through the mud. They were trying hard. They were trying. I've never seen anything like it.
They put video out of dude Alex Preddy. Was it last night? I believe, like a video taking another day of him kicking an ice truck. He kicked the truck. Don't mean he was gonna shoot nobody. You know what I mean? But they're trying to do a prequel to the narrative, right? They're trying to go back and make it look like what we did was something that because he did this another day. He was a threat when he wasn't. But yeah, man. So believe what you see with your own eyes. Don't believe what they showing you though. Because what they showing you probably not going to be real because there's a lot of stories being told, a lot of stories made up. And like Claude said earlier.
What has Stephen been saying from the beginning? The internet is not real. It's not a real place, guys. Remember that.
You have said that for a while. But yeah, that being said, everybody, thanks for tapping in. We're about to get out of here. We out.
Mamba out.
Y'all come back now. Here